All right, everybody. People are making me be serious, Larry, and I don't like being serious, Larry. But more importantly, I don't like hearing that people are doing really stupid things. All right. So Monday, I was out at Crystal Lake. Monday morning around 10 o'clock. And just wanted to let you know, and I did post this. Wind was blowing. Lake was 2/3 to 3/4 open with white caps. And there were air bubbles under the lake. People were having none of the holes were freezing. In fact, I had a couple customers come in, show me cut hands and damage to their knees where their legs went through thin ice that was just refrozen holes. It wouldn't have been what I would have called safe, and I definitely wouldn't have gone out there. But then yesterday, some more people went out, and we ended up getting a call on Tuesday that somebody went through trying to get off the ice at the end of the day. And, so be forewarned. As I've said before, ice fishing and ice is never safe. It's frickin' ice. And what we had yesterday really wasn't ice. We had refrozen slush with air pockets under it. And, a couple people pushing people to get out there that probably shouldn't be there. Now, a lot of you are good anglers and smart anglers, and those are your home waters, and you can probably skinny out there and be safe. But the reality is to be publishing stuff on the internet or to be saying that stuff is fine when it's really not for everybody, you shouldn't be doing that. You're going to end up getting yourself in legal liability. That's something here at the bait shanty we're not going to do. So I'm letting people know. I did drive out to Crystal Lake this morning, went out to Island Lake, went out to Nielsen's channels. Nobody at Nielsen, no one at Island. Mostly locals fish there, except for when things are busy. If they're not out, it's not safe. It didn't look safe. And what's worse now is we got 2 inches of snow over what was the thinning ice. And that snow is going to act as insulation and keep the ice from actually refreezing as fast as it would had it not been snowed upon. And that's the thing. We've got a lot of things working backwards that make the ice a little more dangerous than it should be. When I was out on Monday, the ice on the west end looked like broken safety glass. Like if you took a car window and you hit it with a rock, it would shatter. It wasn't broken apart, but it was no longer safe ice or safe glass. If you drove down the road by that, the first cop that sees you is going to pull you over and go, hey, that's not safe, because it's not safe. Just because you don't go in doesn't mean it's safe. And the problem, and the reason I bring this up, is there are people who are trying to kick fishermen off of Crystal Lake, and the last thing you need to do is to give them fodder so that they can get the residents behind them to close the lake off. So don't go out there if you don't know what you're doing. And I would really recommend giving it another couple days, because what I saw even today didn't look responsibly safe. Doesn't mean you couldn't fish it if you know what you're doing. I think you'd be crazy to do it, and I'm just putting it out there because I don't want to see anybody die. It's not worth it, and I also don't want to see the spots taken away from public use. And that's something that, as fishermen and sportsmen, you have to be careful of. That's why you want to pack out your garbage. You don't want to leave fish you don't want on the ice as wanton waste. These are all things that are against the law to begin with, but two, you don't want to do because it gives fishermen a bad reputation and makes places that have been public turn private or go no fishing. Be mindful. You can drive 30 miles over the border to up to Powers, up to Delavan, and even north of that. The ice there held a little better. Still want to do your due diligence when you go down. I'm not going to tell you it's safe ice, but what I'm going to tell you is it's fared better than the ice down here. I mean, we're even getting reports out of Catherine that it's like 90% open, but there's still some guys fishing the edge. That's fine if you're a risk taker, but what happens is people see you out there and then some little kid walks out there, pops through, and nobody knows he's there. He's not fishing. It's just something that happens because it's a neighborhood kid, and we got to deal with that. So be mindful. If the ice isn't safe, please don't be telling people it's safe. It's not worth it. I would rather have my customers around a lot longer than to just have a couple extra bucks in my pocket. So it's not worth it for me to see anybody at risk. There's places to go. Heck, everybody was out wondering where they could go ice fish yesterday. Meanwhile, down at the dam here, they were catching walleyes. It was snowing. and the walleye were biting. So that's why you stop in the bait shop. That's why you ask bait shop guys who are reputable what they think. And you're free to make your own decision. We're all grown-ups here. But like I said, you got to know who you're dealing with. And you got to know what their motivation is. And my motivation is, I'm just bored and I like picking on people. Other people's motivations may be money or other things. And that's somebody going to lose money. They might tell you something you don't want to hear. So anyways, be safe out there. Stop in if you got some questions. And like I said, let's get through this together. If you get out there and you do drill, send the reports back here, so we can get them together and see what's going on. But like I said, be real careful out there. This is risky stuff. Thank you.